Hi 11th standard student, in last video we have seen the icebreakers activities of the poem The Shower. In this video we are going to see the explanation of the poem The Shower and about the poet Victor Hugo. Let us say about the poet. Poet, novelist and dramatist of the 19th century, was the most important of the French Romantic writers. Victor Hugo was the poet, novelist and dramatist of the 19th century, and he was important French romantic writers in France, and he, though regarded in France as one of the country's greatest poets, he is better known for novels as Notre Dame de Paris 1831 and Les Miserables 1862. He was regarded in France country greatest poet. However, he was also regarded in the France country as a novelist because he has written very important and well-known novels Notre Dame de Paris. This novel he has written in 1831 and other novel Les Miserable. This novel he has written in 1862. Torulata Datta, a Bengali poet also known as Toru, wrote in English and French, was born on 4th March 1856 in Kolkata. Torulata, she was the Bengali poet and she was known in Kolkata as her nickname Toru, and she has written in English and French language. She was born in Kolkata on 4th March 1856. She is considered to be the first Indian poetess to write verses in English and French. That means Toro Latta Dutta, she was considered that she was the first Indian poetess who write a poem in English and French language. She translated dozens of poems and completed a novel before her death at the age of 21. And also in her life, she had translated so many or dozens of poems, and also she had completed novel, which novel she had completed before her death. When she died, that time the age of that poet was 21. Her poems such as Sita, Lotus and Our Casuarina Tree are well loved, and her famous poems are Sita, Lotus and Our Casuarina Trees. These are the famous poems of the Storlata Datta. The Shower is a translation of The Shower is translation of Victor Hugo's poems Season, Dates, Smells, Le Shower. It is translated by Toru Datta from French to English. The Shower is a poem about a farmer who is sowing seeds. He has seen many bad harvests in his life. However, he is so optimistic of having a good harvest every time he tosses grain. See, this poem, sure, this poem is translated by the Torulata Datta. This poem, original poem of Victor Hugo's poem. The name of that original poem is Seasons, Days, Smells, Le Shower. This poem is translated in the shower by Torulata Datta, and it is translated by Torulata Datta from French to English. This is the French poems Saisons, Days, Smells, Les Choir. This is the French poems translated in English. The Shower is a poem about a farmer who is sowing seeds. This poem is about the farmer, and in that poem, the farmer is sowing the seeds in the field. He has seen many bad harvests in his life. In that poem, the farmer has seen many bad harvests in his life. However, the farmer is so optimistic, so hopeful of having a good harvest every time he uh, harvested grains or he showed grains in the field. Let us see the poem The Shower. Sitting a porchway cool sunlight, I see dying fast. Twilight hastens on to rule. See the poet Torlata Datta. She had seated in her house in the porchway, a veranda or a covered cellars in front of building. She has seated in the veranda, and that time she was very cool, and that time sunlight I see dying faster, twilight hastens on to rule. That time the sun is dying, the sun is going to set. That means, and that times the sunlight or the dying sun's light spread in the sky. That time hastens twilight hastens on to rules means a dying sun's light spread in the sky that time. And in that situation she was sitting in the porchway or in a veranda. Working hours have well nigh fast. Well nigh means almost, but not completely or exactly, just about. That means the working hours are almost over. Shadows runs across the lands, and the dying sun's shadows, or due to that dying sun's shadow that spread on the lands and runs across. That means slowly these shadows are uh, going, but showers linger still. In that situation, however, the sun is dying, the sun is going to set. However, in the field, the poet is watching that the farmer, the shower, the person who implants the seeds, the farmer lingers still. Lingers means hangs around, remains. And however, in the field, she saw that the farmer is working in the field. However, the sun is dying. Old in rags, she patient stands looking on. I feel a thrill. She was looking towards that older farmer who is in rage. Rage means very old clothes that farmer was. He patient stands, and in that old farmer was standing in the field or working in the field patiently and looking to that old farmer. The poet is feeling a thrill. Black and high, his silhouette dominates the furrows deep. Now to show the task is set, and that farmer was ready to show the grains or the seeds in the farm, and in that field the poet is watching the silothi. Silothi means a safe outline of someone against a brighter background, and the poet is watching the figure, black and high figure or silothi of that farmer dominates the sphero's deep, and that figure is spread on the sphero's deep. Furrows means lines, trench, channels. As this figure spreads black and high on the land which has plowed by that farmer. Soon shall come a time to reap. Marches he along the plain to and fro, and scattered wide from his hands the precious grains. And in that situation, the farmer is showing the seeds, and he is spreading or scattering the seeds with his hands, precious seeds or precious grains with his hands, and going forwards to and fro. That means forward going in the field. And that times that farmer was thinking that uh, coming in time this farmer will reap a nice harvest. Muse I, and I see him stride, darkens deeps, and muse means rest in thought, reflects, while the poet is watching to that older farmer who is showing the seeds in the field. That times the poet is thinking in her mind. She was seeing him stride to walk with long steps. That times she was seeing that that old farmer was walking with the long steps in the field, and that times in the sky there was a darkness, deep darkness, fades the light. Now his gestures to mine eyes are august and strange. His height seems to touch the starry skies, and that time the poet is in deep thought, watches that farmer, and he's a noble and impressive figure. He seems to touch the starry sky from where she is watching, where from that poet's house the poet is watching to that farmer, and the poet is thinking that his figure is very impressive and noble figure, and he seems to touch the starry sky.